Judge sent a security guard who shot and killed a man to prison. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Denise Valdez.
I'm David Charnes. This is a story the 8 News Now investigators have followed right from the beginning, first obtaining video, which then became part of the case file.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is a security guard, black woman security guard. I'm going to make this quite apparent, to where she has decided to gone out in a rampage and kill someone because, well, obviously she has no gun discipline and doesn't have any idea on how to use it. So this is a lot of things that we would have to probably go over here and to address kind of what this woman is doing. Now, obviously, this woman has decided to done some egregious things in this regard, and it is not great. So apparently, she has decided that it was okay to kill someone because he broke COVID-19 protocols. This was all the way back in August of 2020, to where you had to be careful on going in one at a time because, well, obviously, we had Orwellian laws back then, so, you had to follow them and, hopefully, you don't violate them. And this is what we're going to be showing here is on how gun discipline is not available for this woman. How I don't think female security guards should really be technically allowed because of reasons like this, although men can also do this. And it's been an ongoing problem where we keep on seeing where female security guards or cops keep failing so badly at their jobs that it concerns me on why we even have them here in the first place. But we're not going to be focusing too much on that. We're going to be focusing more on the fact that on how egregious this woman has done this and how she failed every single way possible on dealing with the situation.
It's not what took place in the store that's the biggest issue. It's what took place outside of the store that's the biggest issue.
Now, we have a black judge pretty much saying, oh, well, what didn't happen in the store was the problem. It was what place outside of the store was the issue. Well, you're going to see here on how that is incredibly stupid, because it was what took place inside and outside of the store, which is what are the biggest issues. It's just that the issue that happened outside of the store was bigger than what happened inside. Both things can be a huge problem, and what we have here is a good example. So what we're going to show you is that this woman is trigger discipline is not there, let alone anything else with that matter.
This video shows the moments leading up to Kasia Mitchell shooting and killing Thomas Martin outside a 7-Eleven in August of 2020. Tensions escalate at this Northeast neighborhood convenience store in less than 2 minutes. Mitchell limiting customers due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Martin, frustrated, barges in. Mitchell pulls out a gun. She and another employee remove Martin. She continues to point the gun at him. He slaps it away.
So here's one thing that I want to show you here that is a very big problem. You see this here where this woman is quite honestly pointing the gun sideways, and she immediately withdraws her weapon when there's legitimately no reason to draw her weapon whatsoever. I mean, the guy is like hardly ever resisting. And the reason why I'm going to bring up with this one case here, why I have a huge problem with security guards with women or cops in general, is because their lack of power be able to seduce somebody. Because normally in a lot of situations here, if you are weaker than someone, or if you do not have it's just very difficult for you to bring them down, you will use a weapon or anything of the sort to try to make it equalize, or you have the bigger threat of survival. This is what happens with this female here. She obviously is not strong enough to push this guy back, and in order to try to equalize the situation, she pulls out her gun and to try to equalize it. Now, another issue that I have with this is that the gun is pointing sideways, like you're some type of hood rat from the ghetto, which is quite insane here, which makes me believe on how she got her security guard license when she's pointing her gun like this. She also seems to have no no emotional control whatsoever, which this is a concern for me because normally you're supposed to be a lot more stoic and have emotional control in situations like this. Obviously, you have adrenaline rising and stuff like that, so you can also take that into a factor here. But still, this is a huge issue, and it just gets worse here.
The confrontation continues. Mitchell shoots Martin in the chest in front of his longtime partner.
He died in my yard. And then she continued to threaten me and tell me to get off of 7-Eleven property.
Prosecutors and Mitchell's defense team give two different versions of what happened.
I was asking myself, why was there even an arrest?
Her attorneys point to Martin's toxicology results showing he had methamphetamine in his system.
You would think that once outside the store, he would think maybe now, I don't know, it continues to be confrontational.
Prosecutors say Mitchell shouldn't have pulled out a gun, and they point to this. First exposed by the 8 News Now investigators, showing Mitchell's interaction with a woman in the store parking lot.
We learn about another video, an uncharged act from 19 days before, where we watch Miss Mitchell treating another customer like an animal.
So again, this goes back to my actual emotional control here, to where she has no ability to control her emotions in any situation. You can see this here, where this woman here is quite literally just being assaulted for no actual reason. Like, okay, so you can say pulling the hair might be okay in some regard, but she goes on with hitting and punching the person in the face. This is not what we call good police work, or rather any good security guard work whatsoever. And of course, you have the beta male here that's just standing there and watching this happen, which is insane in its own self-regard in itself. But let's just stop here for a brief moment, all right? Because we have to go and talk about what happened to her in this situation. So she did obviously get sentenced. So so the Las Vegas security guard was sentenced to spend between 5 and 14 years in prison for fatally shooting a customer outside of a 7-Eleven convenience store during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. Kaya Mitchell tearfully apologized on Thursday after she earned an Alford plea for the August 2020 death of 56-year-old Thomas Martin. I didn't mean to take this man's life. I did not, Mitchell cried out in court. I am truly sorry from the bottom of my heart. You're not sorry because you're only sorry because you've been caught in doing this type of stuff. You've also been shown here, as I show this picture, to where you're actually a violent person. You're not a good person. You should have never gotten your license, and I don't know how you got it in the first place. Probably because of those DEI rules that were taken into effect to where this is being allowed. It goes on to say here that the deal means that she doesn't plead guilty to the murder of Martin, but acknowledges that prosecutors may have enough evidence for a conviction. So again, let's go over what we have here with the actual Alford plea deal. Okay, so the Alford deal is a type of guilty in plea in criminal court where a defendant maintains their innocence but acknowledges that the prosecution has enough evidence to likely convict them. Essentially, it allows a defendant to accept the consequences of a guilty plea, like a conviction and sentence, without explicitly admitting to the crime. So that's what it is. So I don't know what exactly is going on here. She's not really considered guilty at this point. I mean, it's kind of weird because she's not really admitting to the crime. She's guilty for certain something else. It's weird. But that is what an Alford plea deal is. And again, we have to go on and tackle the one specific thing here. Her actual use of, well, gun safety, because there's a lot of things that are wrong in this instance that we're talking about here. So if we go with the 4 rules of gun safety, you have treat every firearm as if it's loaded, never point a gun at anything you are not willing to destroy, keep your finger off the trigger until ready to fire, and be sure of your target and what is behind it. Obviously, there's a lot of other issues here because there are other people here, as you can tell and see, that there are other people in the vicinity of this place. There's obviously a car behind her. There is other people in the vicinity that she has to be worried about. And not only that, she does not hold her gun correctly whatsoever in this regard. It it gets a little bit different when you come down with police officers and other things like that. But I just want to remind you that she has failed at least 3 of these things because obviously she says like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do it," but obviously you shot the guy. The guy was outside. He was out of the area to where he was at, and this is why I have a problem with the judge in particular. The judge here is quite honestly saying like, "Oh, well, it was what happened outside." Well, what happened inside was an issue too. She wasn't readily correctly handling her gun, and then on top of that, she gets the guy outside and still proceeds to shoot him. So what happened inside is still an issue. So I don't see to where this woman can even remotely get off. She gets 5 to 14 years. I think that she should probably get more time just because of how egregious this is. She didn't have proper training. She didn't have any proper anything, and it led to this situation happening.
Mitchell's attorneys ask for probation after she entered an Alford plea where she doesn't admit guilt but believes there may be enough evidence to convict her. That took a murder charge off the table in exchange for 2 felonies, including voluntary manslaughter.
I am truly sorry from the bottom of my heart.
Martin's partner saying in court she and his friends will be at Mitchell's parole hearings where she wants to hear her tell the truth.
So yeah, that's what we have here. And this is a huge issue, and I don't see on how this woman can remotely get off because she has got the guilty. Obviously, she got rid of the murder charge, but she got other heavy charges as well. I still think that she probably should have kept she should have still kept the murder charge, but it's insane nonetheless. So again, we need to start addressing here on our female security guards and police officers on how they're being able to conduct themselves, because there's way too many of these cases to where I see females absolutely failing at their jobs in a big egregious way. Like a good example is the one woman where she was pregnant and she needed another person's help. She could have easily got killed by this other perpetrator if this guy was not around. And again, I'm not saying that guys are not at a fault too either. I mean, if you look at this one guy, he's quite literally just standing there looking at this happening, and he should have done something else. Honestly, he should have pushed her own security guard person off of the woman and have him dealt with herself. That's what should have happened here. But he didn't do that because beta males is beta males. But this is something we have to address here because I'm getting really sick and tired of these female officers, of the security guards getting away with things that they never should have gotten away with. Obviously, this woman is getting punished for her actions, and rightfully so, but this should never have been happening in the first place. I think more heavy training is in order here because obviously this is a serious issue. All right, guys. That's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.